This DVD is for the sole purpose of educating our team in the ways of our offenses. Two main things to look for while viewing this. Number one, watch the defenses and how we are supposed to attack different looks. Number two, watch the techniques used by the players. We need all 5 guys to do little things to be a successful team. This video was taken over 3 years where the combined teams went 60-19. This video is not copyrighted by anyone, most notably myself. Unauthorized duplication of this material will result in extra ladders and wall sits. Enjoy. A offense is our main offense versus man-to-man defense. First we start out by setting angle screens. We want the post guy, after he sets his angle screen, to post up on the first slash mark above the box. 2 and 3 come off the screen. We look to curl and fade off the screen. Right here, when we catch the ball and want to get in a low block, we want it free throw line extended. 4 comes up in the high post, clearing out the back side, so we can lob the ball to 5. 1 screens across for 3. First clip will show we've already set our screen. We're posting up. Our backside post comes up. All we need to do here is lob the ball up over the top of the defense, and you'll get an easy layup. Second one shows the same thing. Clear out the backside post, get it up over the top of the defense. That's our first look in our offense. The second look is to get the ball into number 4, our high post guy, and he will first look down low, then he'll look to score himself. So here we throw the ball to our wing. We post up. We decide we can't get him the ball once we clear it out because the post guy's staying down there. But if you throw the ball in the high post and he's forced to come up and guard him, our low post guy's got to spin. He holds his guy on his back. We want to throw the ball to the open spot, the open post spot in our offense. Don't throw it over his head. This is an easier pass than most people think. You just have to get up over the top and throw it away from him on the other side. This is a real good leaper that we're going against right here, but if you do the right mechanics, you get a layup. This next clip shows the same thing. You throw the ball over to the wing. Our post guy posts up. You bring the guy in the high post. The post guy stays with the low guy until you throw the ball to him. And you throw the ball away. This shows the open post area a little bit better, that you can throw the ball over to the other side. Use the whole other side of the floor to give him the pass, and it makes it for a better angle on the layup. This clip shows the same thing. The only thing different in this one is when we spin, we do not have very much room on the baseline side. But that doesn't make a difference if we throw the ball over to the weak side, because you're not throwing the ball very deep. It gives you more room to make your pass. After we've lobbed a couple, the backside guard, teams try to keep the backside guard in to try to stop the pass because they know they can't do it with the low post, the other post guy. So here we use the high post, and the backside guard stays there. But here the backside guard's got to make a decision. He's either going to go guard his guard, or guard his man, or stay in a low block. So here he decided to go out a little bit and gave us enough room. Another way of stopping the backside guard from helping out so much. Here we've got the high post already up there. He's not going to let him catch the ball between the 2 guards there. Backside guard is helping out quite a bit. So here we're going to look to skip the ball. When we skip the ball, we still want to turn and seal, but we do not want to come all the way across the lane. Here we didn't get a great seal, but we got the ball up over the top of the defender, and that's all we need to do. Let our post guy go up and get it. This is a clip of the same type of situation. Backside guard is helping out quite a bit. So we're going to skip the basketball. This time we do a lot better job of sealing. And we come across and catch the ball for a layup. Our second option is to look to score ourselves. Here we catch it pretty high. So Joe had to make 2 dribbles. Normally we would just want to take 1, but we want to take the ball as hard to the basket as possible. Second way, we want to do an outside pivot. Here we catch the ball, we do an outside pivot. That way it sets up our footwork. 1 dribble, pick up the ball, 1, 2, carry the ball like a running back, and go as hard as you can to the basket. It's another example of driving the ball to the basket. This is set up by a down screen. The post guy tries to jump on the inside of the screen, trying to stop him from shooting the jump shot. Instead, we hold the screen right where it's at, and it opens up the driving lane. Post guy's looks and orders down low, look to score himself. If he doesn't have either one, he looks to throw it opposite to the other guard on the weak side. Here we throw it to the high post. He looks down low, and the post guy gets down there. The weak side guard is staying to help out this time, so we skip the ball to the opposite wing, forcing that guard to come guard him, and he can make the pass down low. As long as the post guy seals, it should still be open. When we skip the ball, the guard should see right away whether or not the seal was open by watching how the play develops. His second look then is he can either shoot the three-pointer, or as the guard rushes out at him, he can take the ball to the basket. Here he fakes the drive and shoots the three. Another example where the post guy looks down low, guard stays in, throw the ball opposite, and the guard has his feet set ready for the shot. This is an example against a triangle and two defense where we get the ball to high post, go opposite. Most of the time when the guard's rushing at you, we prefer you to drive the ball back at him, preferably in the middle, because it opens up a lot more options there. We have a pass for layup also. If we cannot get the ball in the high post or low post, we swing the basketball by going to three. Three has an opening right there where we'd like to try to drive the ball to the basket. While he's driving to the basket, we want one to slide to the baseline or cut back door. We already looked for the high post and low post. We swing the basketball to the top. At the top, he's got his opening on the left-hand side, so he takes as hard as he can right down the left-hand side. This also frees up rebounding lanes for the weak side rebound. Whenever you drive the ball to the opening, you want to get the ball as far to the basket as you can. Here he gets all the way to the basket, draws the weak side post over, and is able to dish it off to our block for a dunk. Here we set up the weak side guard by taking it hard to the opening. Here we could cut back door for a layup or widen out for a three-pointer. Here you would choose the best option is to get the three. Free to cut back door if you can. This example we see a lot of in our offense where the weak side guard stays down, and when we interchange our guards, he is still down there and he's trying to locate where you're at. This is where we got to use the opening better. But the weak side guard is staying down, and we swing the ball back up to the top, and he comes and sprints out at you. Drive the ball to the opening right here, and you'll be able to create a 2-on-1. This time we do make the three, but free to go to the opening, drive hard at the opening. When we swing the basketball, three does not have a chance to drive it to the basket. He reverses the ball over to one, who can do V cuts, backdoor cuts to get the ball. Then we screen away. Four comes to the ball all the time, and he'll set an angle screen for five. He always wants to set it low on his man, and five can fake up if his guy comes over the top screen, anticipating the screen, and go baseline in this example. We set the screen down. When we're setting the screen down, the post guy cheats up over the top of the screen so that both guys recognize that and then just cut right to the ball on the baseline side. Our post guy sets our screen. He cheats above the screen, so we come right back to the ball. And when we catch it, we have everybody on our backs. So we get an easy foul or easy layup. The normal way you come up to the high post and you look for your jump shot first. The guard's got to look. If they switch, you want to throw it back to the guy who rolls back to the basket, or otherwise the screener. If they do not switch, throw it to the five-man because it should be open right off the initial screen for a shot or a dump down to number. Reverse the ball completely. When we reverse the ball completely, we come over to set the screen. Setting the screen, they switch, so we throw it to the roller, and the roller doesn't come all the way back. He seals them right where he can, and always our first move is to go middle. Both guys, we swing the basketball over to the weak side, jump to the ball, set the low screen. Now you want to set it at a bottom angle so that when you're curling, you turn around and they switch, they're able to seal them as close to the basket as possible. Here he does a good job sealing, goes hard to the middle, gives himself a layup. Our post guy does a great job of screening and sealing on this play. Guy tries to get below him, he just seals him, holds him off. We like to throw the dump down pass as much as possible. We like to screen. Here they do not switch. We throw the ball to the high post and we look at the opposite block and throw the ball up over the head where he can go get it and have a good angle at a layup. This is the same situation as the last. When you set the screen, he tries to fight through the screen so he can get it to the high post. This time the post guy stays low, so instead of trying to look for the lob pass, we just push him underneath the basket as far as possible and shoot over the top of him. Get a three-point play. When we dump the ball down low, we want to cut to the backside post. If the guy's on his back, so that flattens it out. So both we can get a rebound and they can't offer help because otherwise they'll pass to us for a layup. The offense continues working back and forth this way until we can either find a driving lane or get a good post-up situation. So here we reverse the ball, and now we just do it on the other side of the basket. So on the clip, here we reverse the ball. So we do the same thing on the opposite side. We set it low, get the ball in the high post when he can't get there, and then we try to seal and look for the over-the-top pass. Teams are taught trying to stop the ball from getting the low post or really pressure your guard. In this situation, we're going to bring the high post up, and this is called B in our offense. Instead of running A offense, we're running B. So we clear out the block. The guards are used to being able to pressure the ball, but here we just start off our screens right away, opening up the baseline for our guard to take the ball to the basket hard baseline. Usually the guards are not prepared for this right away because they're used to the low block being there, and the coach told them to stop that pass from getting in there easily. So this opens up the whole area for us to drive and make our guards a little more aggressive at them, because we'd prefer to be the aggressive team. Right here we're getting the ball up in the wing. They're going to get it right up on us because they don't want us to dump it over the top to our post, make that a more difficult pass. So we clear it up, come up in the high post, and we start our screen. With him all over us, we automatically want to take the ball as hard as we can baseline. They have a tough time getting help on the baseline. Plus we have, if we missed a layup, we have two guys on one rebounding. We've got to use what most coaches coach. They coach their guards to force you baseline, but clearing out the low block and not allowing any help so you can trap on the baseline gives it a problem. Here he forced him baseline, but he had no help on the baseline. We were able to get all the way to the basket and make a shot on the other side. This is also in the B offense. We also encourage our guards to drive the ball to the basket while our postmen are setting their screens. When they set their screens, usually the post guys are so worried about, guarding the screen that our guard is one-on-one and can take the ball to the basket either way with very little help. We always want to be the most aggressive team, so to relieve pressure, if they want to try to put a lot of pressure on us, we want to make them punish, make them pay for it. Here they're trying to really pressure our point guard. When we set our angle screens, they're in not a very good position to help out on a drive right down the middle. Here they're worried about trying to come out and guard the wings, and allows an easy lane to the basket. This is the same thing. Look at where the wings are at. They're split out so wide they cannot stop a drive right down the middle of the floor. So he's able to drive right in all the way to the basket right from the point. So if they're pressuring us at half court, we want to take the ball all the way to the basket down the middle of the floor. It's the same thing. Post guy gets there, but opens up layups for the post. Another way to relieve the pressure is to use our four-man. We bring the four-man up after he sets the screen. He pops up into the high post, and we cut the guard back door. If they're really pressuring our guards, this is usually open for us. Just a simple back cut, but using our high post to do it. The second way that we'll do it with the post guy is we'll throw it into him in the high post area. And if the guard doesn't have a good back door, we duck in the opposite side block, usually our five-man, right in the middle of the basket. He has both sides of the lane to work. Here he chooses the left side of the lane. The guards get used to trying to help out quite a bit. So we try to look to combat that with some good guard cuts. Here when we pass the ball to the wing and we go to set the screen away, a lot of the guards just like to hang out there. Sometimes they'll switch that screen, or they'll just hang out in the high post trying to stop us from catching the ball there. If they do that, we do either a slip pick, which this is called a slip pick. He doesn't set the pick, he just goes to the open spot on the back side, and if we can recognize it quick enough, we'll go ahead and lob it to him. This is the same thing. We come up in the high post, the guard tries to help out, trying to stop him from catching it. So our guard notices that and he slips the pick. This also shows the backside trying to go backdoor. We have up to 3 cuts that we make when we throw it to the low block. Here, the first cut we always make is a dive, opposite block dives. The guard then can either go baseline. Here we don't have enough room to cut baseline, but if our guard turns around and helps, we can also dive in the middle. And this is usually open. One of the 2 different types of cuts is usually open for us. Our posts are supposed to take it hard middle, so a guard sometimes will cut baseline also. Special play up is for our guards. It really works when they're really trying to deny the high post with the weak side post. Here we set a back screen. They're trying to deny the high post. We set a back screen so there's nobody to help out on the back screen, and we lob it to the back side of the guard. This usually alleviates the pressure on the high post, so we're able to get the ball in the high post a lot easier when we run a play like this once in a while. The second thing is we come back the very next play in this game and we run the same thing, except for now they're so worried about the back screen that they forget our first option. Our first option is always just allow the ball up to the initial post-up man, which is an easier pass to make. While running B offense, we run a play called rub. Here we pop them up in the high post like we do in B offense, and we just run it like we normally run B offense. The only difference is 5, instead of setting the screen for 4, we'll set a ball screen. So here we set our normal screens down. Post guy pops up like he does in B offense, but he sets a ball screen instead, and we do a pick and roll in that situation. We run another version of A offense called double A offense. As you can tell, we're very creative in our naming. We like to integrate English with our basketball skills. But with this version, we just try to run another version just to try to help them stop from doubling down in our post. We run it the same way as A offense, get the ball to the wing. In this version, we run the backside guard, which is usually our best shooter, all the way into the corner. This forces them to go to the corner because they are our best shooter, and we'll shoot that shot if they give it to us. This limits the number of people that they can help on the back side, with one being the one's defender is not used to being the man that helps on the back side. So here we run our best shooter through. The one's defender is not used to helping out, so we just dump it down inside. Here we can throw it opposite and get an easy shot too, but our post guy is able to get the ball up to the basket. Usually the point guard is not a guy that can help out much anyway. The point guy is defender. Here we do the same thing, except for we use our normal high low, with the weak side guard not being able to get there. And it's easier too. If they try to get there, you can skip the ball to the other side. If we can, we're going to try to get the ball in the high post to get it down the low block, because if you get the ball to the high post, he can skip it easier to the backside. The other way we do it too, though, is we get to the backside, we'll set a flex screen. He won't stop at the block unless he's got a layup. He'll just keep going to the other corner, and we'll run our normal screens where we set the angle screen in A offense and roll back to the ball. And 1 and 2, then 2 will be the shooter. We'll step out and set a ball screen every once in a while, set a screen and roll. This really opens things up for 2 and 1 to get to the basket. You can cut back door or wide out for the 3. The first one shows our high post guy can also drive the basket. Here we had a good driver, and Joe, he drives the ball hard to the basket. He opens it up for the shooter on the backside. Same thing. Here we're setting a ball screen. You're one-on-one with the post guy. You can drive the ball to the middle of the basket. Here he dumps it down low for layup. 4 high is another offense we run against man-to-man. This is completely different from the other one. We have 2 versions of it. We use the post option. We have a guard. First one we're going to show is the guard option. We set our screens down like we did in A offense. Difference is right after we set our screen downs and our wings pop out to the wing, our post guys come up into the high post area. You can throw the ball to any of the 4 guys. The guard option is when you throw the ball to the guard. If you throw the ball to the guard, we set a back screen from the post on the ball side, and that is our first option. If he doesn't get it, he runs through to the back side. Then 5 sets a ball screen for 2, and they run a pick and roll. 4 and 3 will set a double screen on the back side for your point guard to come around for a 3 on the back side of the play. But we drive ball hard middle, and 5 rolls to the basket. So we decide to throw the ball to the wing. When we throw the ball to the wing, our post guy sets a good back screen, and that's your first option. If he's open, throw the ball in there. If a lot of help, he helps out. Throw the ball into the other post guy for a layup. The second option is the guard coming off the screen. The guard's job is always to get all the way to the basket if he can, to get a shot, because we do have, on the roll, we have an easy rebound on the left side of the basket. Guards have a lot of leeway in this offense. They can shoot right off the screen. They can drive. Right here, he sees a wide open shot because the guard goes underneath. Hits a three-pointer in a crucial situation here. He sets up a lot of different things by doing that. Next time down the floor, he catches the ball. He's guarded very heavily this time, and he's able to free up the post guy by the previous play that he made. And he sets up a three-point play in back-to-back good situations. He scored 6 points in 2 possessions. When I throw the ball to the wing, here we set the back screen. When you set the back screen, that puts the post guy in tough positions because he's got a help on there. So he's in a tough position to help out. You want to take a minimum of 2 bounces to the middle to set up the roll. Here we're showing how the backside works. Set the screen. Come out the screen. Here we draw the backside guard over, and we're able to kick it. We have 2 guys on 1. We're able to kick in the corner to our best shooter, who we ran through the middle, and receive the screen on the backside for a big 3. After the guard's been screened a couple of times, they start looking for it, so they kind of cheat up a little bit and look for it. That way you can open up the baseline, take the ball to the baseline, especially if the post guy is high up. To go to the baseline hard and just shoot the ball. If you shoot the ball over a double team, we don't mind that because the post guy can come up and get a easy rebound on your miss if you do miss it. This is the same situation. Set the screen. Instead he decides to go baseline hard, draws both people to him. We're able to get the layup on the bottom side. Post option is just what we do when we throw the ball to the post. Here we have 4 guys across. You can throw it to any of the 4. Here we happen to throw it to 5. You throw it to 5. 4 is going to set you a hard back screen, trying to draw his man to you because they're taught back screens you have to help out a little bit so the guard gets through. We hope they do because then that sets up better post position for our 4-man. 2 will slide down into the corner and 4 will slide down in the block. On the back side, then our guard will set a screen down for our point guard. When we throw the ball to the high post, we don't necessarily have to wait for the back screen, especially if our guard turns his head and tries to help out. If our guard turns our head and helps out, you want to cut right by the guy you pass the ball to the open block. And he knows that it's a give and go automatically. Here we have both of the options open. We throw the ball into the high post area. Set the back screen. The post does not help out, so we should be throwing a lob right here. Instead, we wait for the post guy to drop down. We've shown that he can use both sides of the lane. Here he uses the right side. Here, same thing. You want to seal him wherever you can. Here he dives right down the middle of the basket. He can use both sides of the basket. Same thing, we set the back screen, and we want to post it and push him back as far as we can and use either side of the basket. This is still a clear out for the post guy who catches the ball. Here we set the back screen. All the action's going away from you, so when you put your arms up, they're trying to deny the pass, so you can do your 1 dribble, 2-step layup. Same situation, drive, 1-2 layup. We show 2 drives where he drives to the opposite of where we're setting the back screen. Now we're going to show where the clear out is. Here, after he sets the screen, the post guy goes across. If he doesn't get it, he goes all the way across to the box, open up the driving lane on the other side of the basket for the post to take it to the basket. The post goes through all his reads. First, we got the back screen, which is open. but we didn't get it to them right away, so we don't throw it. Got the post. They're clogging up 3 guys in the middle, so we're going to throw it to the weak side guard and rush at them. Tell them we want to dribble middle if we rush at them, because that opens up so many avenues. Right here we get a layup. We use this offense to get any post matchup we want. Here we're trying to get a guard post matchup. We call it KP because K stands for the first letter of the guy's name. This is Kevin. Last letter stands for post, so Kevin post is KP. Set the back screen for him right away. Here we throw it to the high post to skip it over to him on the back side like we teach our post guys to do. But we want one-on-one matchup because we thought Kevin had a easy matchup in the post with his guard, and we'll use this to do that. Spread is our open post offense used against man-to-man defense. We use this both as a stall offense mainly right now. We use it as a change of pace offense also. We like the matchups that we can create through it. Start off 5 across. You set the screen across for the other man and you roll to the basket, or you do a slip pick and then you pass across. 1, 2 will pop back up. 1 will go and set the screen across. And that is the very basic movements of it. As I said, we use it as a stall right now, but you can be more aggressive off them screens using it in an offense. This is an example of us using it as a stall. If we're using it as an offense, we usually try to get our guards up to the 3-point line. We're just setting our screen across and moving the ball along the top until we get down into the time frame when we want to run our set. In the base of this offense, there's 2 major things you can do. You can pass to the wing. You're going to do a give and go cut. If you pass it to the wing, and 4 is going to come off 5's back screen and cut to the basket. If 5's guy helps out, then he's supposed to hold him on the back and come back towards the ball. 2 will replace, come all the way across. If we don't get either one of them 2, we will pass the ball over to him. And 3 and 4 will fill back in and basically do a wheel all the way around. 3 replaying the offense, setting the screen, and rolling to the basket like we do in the basic offense. When we run this as a stall, we always want to take a layup. So here we throw, we do give and go. The post guy gets a little piece of him there, but he wants to get a piece of the second guy a little bit quicker. They try to deny the post guy. We try to spin and throw it to the opening because there is no help anywhere back there, so we use our same principles we use in our other man-to-man. There you drop down. But we still do our give and goes. Post guys aren't used to guarding people that far from the basket, so if we do a quick give and go, especially with our post guys, he can shoot over the top of people that help out. Here we do a back cut. We want to do backdoor cuts and slip picks in this offense quite a bit, and try to recognize them for a layup. Here we get a good piece of the second. Well, the second guy goes underneath, but still can't get there in time to give us a layup. And our post guy's got to dive to the basket every time. Throwing it to the post is the second option. When you throw it to the post, you want to dive to the basket or cut around him, almost making it look like it is a handoff pass. Then after you cut, you're the first one to cut, the 2 guy will follow and he will cut the opposite direction you did. If we got a guy who can post up, we'll post him up right there. 3 and 4 will replace him. 1 and 2 then pops back out and you resume the offense with 4 setting the screen. This is another example of a post guy guarding quite a ways from a basket. Here we've got our 3-man catching the ball. He throws it into the post. Our post guy sees this out of the corner of his eye. When he sees that, he does a slip pick and cuts right to the basket. We want to use them openings as much as possible. Whenever we think we got an advantage to cut to the basket, we'll use that opening. When we're using this for a stall, we catch and we hold the basketball. Make sure we save our dribble so we can have 4 seconds catching and 4 seconds running. When we're using for an offense, we want to drive to the openings. Here we drive right between the 2 guards here and we get all the way to the basket. Our backside guy should have cut to the basket too. When we drive, we want to drive out the perimeters because if you force someone to come guard you, we can cut back door. So here we drive right into the opening between the 2 guards on the same side, force him to come guard us that way. When he drives in there, he forces him to come guard him, and then that creates an easy backdoor layup. This is an example of the back cuts you want to be able to use. Here he comes up, and we cut backdoor. Usually you throw the high post first and then get it to him quickly. You can lob it too. Here we throw it. We should come to a jump stop when we're in traffic. This is against the zone because then we can dive. Here's an example of a clear out in it. You throw it to the wing, and we don't want always to cut. If we have an advantage on that side, we don't cut and we let them drive baseline because there's nobody down there in our spread offense. So we use that as one of our mismatches. We use mismatches in the post too by throwing in the high post and down. We have two versions that we run with our press breaker. We have 4 across, which is the first one, the main one we have used, and got a 2-guard set. I will show you later on. This is our 4 across. We'll throw the ball into anybody, but when we need to get it in, if they have pressure on everybody, we set the screen and let the 2-man come in the middle and the 1-man go in the corner. And then you always need to roll back to the basketball. We throw the ball to the 1-man right away. The post guy on his side goes to the sideline, and the opposite side post comes to the middle. And our looks are sideline first, middle, then safety. Back to the 4. Sideline, middle, safety. We throw it to the middle guy. He opens up on the inside and reverses it to the guard on his side. You're pretty much paired. You work with your post guy on your side, and the post guy doesn't dribble the ball in this one. In this press breaker, he just reverses the ball to the other guard. So here's an example. We set the screens, throw it into the 1 guy. Ball side post goes to the sideline, and the weak side post comes to the middle. Notice how he opens up on the inside. Usually he has a post guy on the back side of him, especially in a diamond press. And then he reverses the ball to the guard right away. If we don't throw it to the middle, we throw it to the safety and reverse the basketball. If that happens, your post man goes to the sideline and the opposite post comes back to the middle, and one will go up the sideline. Here we're reversing the basketball. The guard should have been closer up here. He's a little bit further away. But he makes the catch. This time he throws it to his sideline partner. The other post guy you can see was starting to come down into the middle. If we can, we always want to throw the ball up over the top of the zone presses. Another example where we swing the basketball. This time we've got our ball side post. You can see he's starting to take off. We look sideline. Middle guy didn't get all the way to the middle. But here we want to throw it up over the top. So we got the backside guard streaking on the backside because there's nobody on that side of the basket. But go straight up into him. Don't try to monkey around him on the layup. This clip shows fast motion, the same thing, reversing the basketball, guard streaking on the backside. When we flip-flop our 4-man or our 3-man is in the middle of the floor. We want to get the ball to him anytime we can in the middle. Then we tell him to take off if it's our 3-man. If he gets in trouble, he can pick up the ball and throw the ball to the guards. One of the guards streaking on the backside. But we tell him to get as far as he can and get a shot off. We'll do that with a guard, a 2 or a 1-man also. If they're a good ball handler, just throw them in the middle of the floor. This is our 2-guard front. 1 and 2 will go opposite. Then 3 will cut and come right down the middle. Most of the time we will hit. On a man-to-man press, 4 will circle around and set a ball screen. If not, 4 will be the middle guy in our sideline middle safety. And he'll cut right down the middle. Here we split it, come right down the middle. 4 sticks around and sets a back screen. This will give our guard a one-on-one with the post, and he can get as far as he can. Same thing, except for here we're splitting the ball. We want to get the ball in the middle of the floor, but we got to look to score off that with the post. This is an example of them trying to guard everyone. If they guard everyone, the backside guy, we put one of our better athletes on the backside. He'll set a screen and then fly down the floor. So he sets a screen, and he'll be flying down the floor. We got to look. We have an over-the-top person this time, but the over-the-top person wasn't ready for the pass. You can see him right in the middle of the floor there. But we streak down the floor, and we have that whole area to work with. We prefer don't throw the ball way over his head. Let him be able to go get the ball. We like to throw it out in front of his face so he can run it down. Fast break offense, we try to integrate that with our regular man-to-man or our zone offenses. We start off by giving the ball to the strong side to the 3. He is looking in the low block first. If he can't get in the low block, he gets it back to the point guard, comes off a high screen from the 4-man and tries to get to the basket. Trying to open up a shot for our best shooter on that side, which is the 2-man. We call him the shooter in our offense. If the shooter doesn't have a shot, 1 goes in and he'll set a small to big screen on the post man and he'll come across. Then 4 will set a down screen for 1 who will curl back up and look for a shot. An example, we already looked in the low block. They have a lot of help there. We come off the high screen. This is against the zone. We come off the high screen. We get it over to our shooter. The shooter didn't feel like he had a shot, so then we try to set it on the zone. We'll try to set it on the low, the middle person in the zone. Try to get the ball below the zone. Here we attract 3 guys. Should be able to get it to our 4-man diving, but we take the shot right here. Here we get the rebound and we're able to put it back up and in. So after we get the ball to our point guard, we push the ball up to our strong side, which is our slasher. Their first look is always to get to the basket if they can. Here he's able to take the ball down the middle and get close to the basket and be able to create an easy opportunity for our post guy. His second look all the time is then if he can't get to the basket, he gets to the wing and he'll throw the ball in a low block. This is an example of that. We get the ball, get it to our point guard. If he can pass it up right away, he wants to pass it up to the slasher. So here he throws it to the slasher. Our post guy ran the floor hard. The guy who does not get the rebound has to get down and get to the low block first. Here's another example. Our post guy runs the floor. We're looking for the over-the-top pass. Like in A offense, we're still looking for our dump down pass or over-the-top pass. Here we throw it to the strong side. We post up, and that's our first look. In the regular part of our offense, we try to throw it up over the top to our post guy, or just give it to him if the guy's behind him. We throw it up to one of our wings. Here the post guy posts up on the other side, gets a quick post up. They're playing behind him, so we want to do a quick move. We always try to go middle. If we can get one-on-one in the post, we want to take that every time because that puts a lot of pressure on the refs and it's an easier shot. This time they're cheating down the backside guard. So just like in A offense, our post guy comes over to catch the pass and force the guard to make a decision and then dump it down into our low block. It looks very similar, but this is still early offense. Throw it up to the strong side. They have a lot of help on our post man. This time they swing all the way over, so we're able to skip it to our 4 guy. When we throw it back to the point guard and we set the ball screen, we want to get as far to the basket as we can. Here we did a pull-up jump shot. This example, we get all the way. And this time we use the shooter as a decoy, fake it over to him, and shoot our jump shot. One more example, getting all the way to the basket, and the post guy's diving to get in rebounding position. We want all 5 guys in a rebound, but when we see a rebound, we want to take off. If we can get up over the top and we can get a long pass, we want that first. And then we can always come back to the basketball if we did not get that pass. But it's up to the post guy to see if it's open or not. Here we got a blocked shot and the guy takes off. He sees it right away and he gets up over the top of the guy who's supposed to stay back. And then one more example. We throw the ball up over the top to get the guards going. We want to take off as guards, run the whole time. If the point guard breaks the pack first, we want him to get as far as he can to the basket. Here he keeps going. No one steps in front of him. Example, same thing. He keeps going. Someone does step in front of him. This shows an example of the secondary. Our post guy finds the guard and sets a backside screen for our best shooter. Everybody likes to run. Two things make fast break offense. That is good defensive rebounding, but more importantly, creating turnovers. Here's a steal. You have to split the guard when you're doing this. So you have good spacing so he cannot guard both of you. Pyramid offense is the offense we run against all zone defenses. We've been great success for us. You really only need one really good shooter to run it and a couple of decent post players, or just one good post player. Two occupies the high or the guard on his side. He's got to dribble up and make him come guard him. One will cut to the ball side to overload it. We will pass them the ball. If the bottom guy in the zone does not come out and guard him, we're going to look for our shot right away. And if he does come guard him, then that sets up the rest of our offense. This is an example. Here we throw it to our one, and our shooter comes over, or actually our ball handler comes over and catches the ball on that side. He did not come out and guard him, so we shoot the wide open three. Again, got him occupied. The guy gets there too late, and we take the shot. We call him the quarterback. If the quarterback is feeling it, we sometimes even slide him down the corner, and we'll set that screen on the bottom. If we get their bottom guy to guard us, that's excellent. That sets up everything else we do. If they switch their guards over just to match up, 5 will set a ball screen. We'll go to the left. But 4 will set a screen for 3 against the middle of the zone, since that's the next guy to guard somebody. We try to catch the ball below the basket, as close to the basket as possible there. 5 is going to drop down the backside, because the backside guy in the zone, if they're going to guard it, they're going to have to bring him over with 3. And if they do that, then we'll lob it to 5. After 4 sets his screen on the middle of the zone, and if he gets through there, then 4 will pop in the high post area. And 2 will widen out on the backside. We catch the ball too low here, but this shows the movements very well at this camera angle. We catch the ball, we draw the bottom, we set the screen on the middle guy of the zone. We didn't give it to him soon enough. Should throw the ball in the high post there, but we skip it over to the guy who dove on the backside. 1 is called the quarterback. He has many options. He can pass it to 3, he can pass it to 4, he can pass it to 5 or to 2. That's why he's called the quarterback. He runs everything. Here we throw it. This is our shooter that has the ball first. He's got to occupy the top guy of the zone and dribble up in there. We're filling out the pyramid here, the 3 spots of the pyramid. Usually we put our 5-man on the free throw line, but we like to mix it up and put the guard there sometimes. Here he dribbles up to occupy him. Throw the ball over to our quarterback, and we widen out to the backside. Notice that the bottom guy guarded him a little bit, and our post guy sets a screen so that we can get underneath the middle guy of the zone. So our guy slips underneath the middle guy of the zone. When you catch it there, they have no help. Attacking below zones is something that we like to do. And our 5-man drop to the backside there. We set a horrible screen for the baseline runner here, but if we can drive baseline, we always want to drive baseline if you can get there. And this is a good example of it. Look at, once we get by our guy baseline, we get a layup ourselves, or we can kick it to the guy that dropped on the backside. If the offense is run right, this is the way it looks. We got the bottom guy brought up. We set a good screen on the middle. We put the guy over in the short corner, and he gets an open, easy look with 2 guys rebounding in rebounding position, and our shooter is back on D. Another example, we bring the guard all the way over. We set the screen on the middle of the zone, set it so that he can't get underneath him. Here we drive. This time the backside guy comes and helps when we get 5 who drop to the back. This team's started guarding us with the backside post coming over. We've got our guard coming across. Set our screen on the middle. Didn't set a very good screen there either, but he got through. Now the backside guy came over to guard him, and that's where 5 is open for a layup then if they want to empty out the backside to have to guard him. When we drop the 5-man down the backside, we get to choose who we have him post up on. Here he's got a lot smaller player on him, So we're able to shove him out of the way and get on the inside of him for a layup. The next time down the floor, he is still open when we drop down, but the guard now gets on the inside of him because he doesn't want to give up the layup again. That shoves him so far underneath, there's no way that he can catch outside for our best shooter wide open from a three with his feet set. It's a longer version of the same example. We swing our quarterback through, we give him the ball. We should have, instead of when they matched up, we should have set a ball screen there, but we widen out and we kick the ball over to the other side to our shooter, and they can't get there in time. Teams have to decide when we overload the zone, are they going to guard our post man on man? Here we got our five guy inside with a guard guarding him, but we also have our shooter wide open from 3-point range. Nobody is around him. Other times we'll make sure that our shooter is open. Our five drops and then he'll just set a screen while he's not looking, and we'll skip it to our shooter. When three has the ball, we have two different post movements. The first one is the duck under the zone and then post up. So here we throw it to the three man and we duck underneath and just follow right behind him and slide underneath the zone. The same thing, we just come ourselves. This is the five who dove to the back side. He comes on over and ducks under. It's another example. We give it to him. Here we just stay right where we're at, but we duck underneath and do the same things we do in the offense. The second method is to dive and replace. Here we throw it to our three man and our four will dive right to the basket. This is an example of both of them. The first one's a duck under. He ducks under the backside. We make a bad skip pass here. But then we pass it over. Next time we're going to dive to the basket. Against any zone, you want to use the high post. When he catches the ball, he's looking to down low, backside, and then opposite. Here we set the screen. Guy does a good job getting out, so we get it to the backside. This is where we get our five man on somebody we wanted. Same thing here. Catch the ball. Great post up on the backside on who we wanted to post up on. This time we got a guard that's going to be on the backside against a post guy, so we want to swing it over to him quickly and he can take it to the basket. We will also use a high post right away in the offense. Give it to him right away and hold him up under top and try to get the over the top pass. Our first look is for our three man. Our second look is for the high post. High post, we look for the guy on our ball side, then backside. Here backside's wide open. But we also have our best shooter with nobody around him shooting the three on the backside. We had both open that time, the backside post and the backside guard. This is the same situation. Notice we make a good strong pass on the backside and our guard's got his feet set. One more time. This time we're swinging the ball with the top guy back over to our best shooter. If one gets the ball back from 3 or 4, we want them to dribble aggressively and try to split the two top guards in the zone or get around the left side, and we can skip the ball too. We throw the ball down. We're just trying to post up on the back sides. We don't get either one of them. We kick the ball back out, and here we're going to split both guards and get down the middle. Here we got the shooter open on the backside also. If one sees two open right away, he'll just throw a strong skip pass, and 5 will seal on the bottom. We go through our reads. We got the low cutter, the high post, opposite, and then we got our backside guard. On this example, we dribble over only one step. The shooting guard's got two options. He's either going to shoot the ball if he's wide open, or when we drive back at him because they're rushing out at you, you drive back middle. This opens up your jump shot and the low guy on your side. Same thing. We skip the ball to the weak side guard. Notice the guy sprinting at him. He cannot guard you if you drive right back at him. We want to drive back middle because that brings more options for us. If we reverse the ball, then the one man follows over and he replaces the shooter so he can be quarterback again. Everybody fills back in the 3 spots of the pyramid. So when 1 gets the ball from 2, 2 goes back over into his shooter slot, and 5, 4, and 3 run their screens. 3 ends up being the short corner guy again, and 5 pops up in the high post. Now 4 goes to the backside. So here we swung the basketball, and we got over. We set our screens and pop to the backside. We dribble over and skip it to the shooter again. The pyramid also 3 spots of rebounding. You should rebound in them 3 spots. We got the weak side, we got the middle, and we got the strong side. This shows our spacing. We don't do a great job of running what we're supposed to be doing. Here we dive, we don't replace. Go back to the backside guard. We get it's a short corner. The person didn't dive or replace. But we stayed on that side, so we skip it. But the spacing is there. But we should always have the 3 guys fill the 3 spots of the pyramid and rebounding also. There's a situation where we throw the ball down the corner. We draw the bottom guy to us. We use a dribble. This is called drag. We dribble the ball hard up into the middle and force them to stay guarding us, and then a guard sneaks in where he was playing his own defense to get an open look. This is drag with the cutter. He catches the ball up there. 10 should have widened out more down up to the point to be able to work this a little bit better. But he drives into the middle, and then we replace his spot, and he's wide open for an easy look. In this case, we don't get one, but step out a little bit further so you can get a 5-foot jump shot. Here we bring our player across. They match up with it, so our cutter comes across, and we can also bring the ball straight to our cutter from the shooter, and we're still right in what we're supposed to be doing. We got the high post, we got the guy already come across, so here we take the shot. We don't want to deny all our post guys. We want to try to post them up right away if we can, especially against an odd front zone like this. If we've got a mismatch, we'll run our big guy right down on their smallest guy on the bottom and let him post up immediately. Or throw the ball to the high post right away and let them dump it down. We do not need to enter the ball all the time into our quarterback. This is an example of our point guard creating a shot. All I have to do is dribble the ball hard into the middle to create a shot for our shooter, our quarterback. It's an example. The best thing I do like about pyramid, you got your offside guard, but the rebounding. You got all 3 spots for rebounding. And if you teach your guys right, they can do swim moves, dive in the middle, and everything. Pyramid versus just odd front zones here. I've already seen some odd front zones, but here we're just going to concentrate on that. This is a 3-2. What's different in this is they're going to be able to match up with the guards better, but our diving and our screening kills this stuff, especially if we get the bottom guy to guard us. Right here we got the bottom guy to guard us. We got an inside of the backside, and we're able to dive down the middle for a rebound too. But our screening on the bottom of the zone works so much better against odd front zones and even front zones. Here we get the ball down low. This time they match up better with it, but we still set our screen on the top of him. They have to drag over the backside guy, which leaves the diver on the backside wide open for a layup. Here we throw it to the middle instead, but they cannot guard 3 guys below the basket when they have that many people up top. 1-3-1 zone. This is a zone that we typically have the best success against, especially with the cutter on the back side when we really show him how to post up on their wing guy. So we set our screen in the middle of the zone like we do against a 2-3. Short corner, if we draw the baseline guy to us in the 1-3-1, we got the backside guy sealed. Here we drive it to the basket. Usually the 1-3-1s will put a small guy down low. The bottom side of the pyramid, then we can lob the ball, especially when we have our wing on that side occupying their wing, to our big guy against their guard on the bottom. This is a 3-2 again. We can drill the ball right up in there and overload that side. We force them to match up with us, but then we got one-on-one in the post area, so we'll just post right away. Here we have our best shooter down in the corner, and he has to honor him. Our post guy does a good job this time being patient. They double down and kick the ball back out, and all we do is repost again. We always want to try to go middle. So here we get into the middle lane against odd front zone. It's a lot easier to get in the middle lane as a post guy. We're using our principles in A offense. Our post guy is trying to get him up as high as he can to get the lob pass. And he's going middle. Here's an example against a 1-3-1. Come across. Here we dive down the middle. They have to take all three guys to be able to guard our two post guys there. And we set a screen on the back side for our best shooter. Against a 1-1-3 back into a 2-3, this becomes even easier. You pull the guard up higher, and we pass him the ball, and we just make one quick pass because he's got to come out and guard you to the point. If they're going to match up with their center there, then we'll take them to the basket. Dribble penetration is important all the time. If you can split the top two guys in a 3-2, you put a lot of pressure on them. And you have people to pass to on both blocks. And your shooter out in the side. So you have a lot of options when you can get the ball to the basket as the quarterback. You got your shooter on the wing, and you know where he's at all the time, and you got two post guys on the blocks ready for layups if anybody helps out. Another example this time, we'll take it hard to the basket. We got our shooter down in the corner. We got both post guys on the block. We're able to split the top two guys. We force their center to come up and guard us. But when we put up this shot, it gets blocked. But look at our three rebounders on one of their guys. We're able to get the basketball back pretty easily. Weak is our main set against any zone defense. Pick this up from the Gophers. We set a screen for the one man right away. And we dribble and we look for a shot immediately off that. And 4 will curl to the basket. 3 will pop out looking for a reverse pass. 1 is looking to score right away. This is the first option. If they duck underneath the screen, we'll shoot the 3. We'll shoot the 3 here also. Second option is get it back to the 3-man. And he looks to take the ball to the basket himself. Next, if 3-man doesn't have a drive, 5 will set a screen either for on the top guy or the bottom guy. He's got to determine the one that will be closest to the 2-man, so we can get an open 3-point shot. Here we set a screen, odd front zone. We skip the ball. We set a screen on an odd front zone. You're going to set a screen on the bottom guy most of the time for the open shot. Here we set the screen, reversing the ball to the 3-man, and we'll set a screen on the low guy and kick it over to the shooting guard. Set the ball screen, slip it to the 3-man. 3-man kicks on over. Here we put a pump fake on because the guy's rushing at him. We can go either direction off this. If we go towards the side with their shooter on, he just flips sides. And both of our post guys know how to run both sides. So here we went to the other way, so that both sides of the zone, we can work both sides. If one side starts learning what to do against it. If they start overplaying the shooting guard, we want to get the ball back to our 3-man who is our slasher, because they're running at everybody. We should be able to open up the middle of the floor for him to drive. Go is a special play, also against zone. We throw the ball to the 1-man. At the same time we throw the ball to the 1-man, 4 comes up in the high post, and 2 comes off a screen of 5, goes all the way to the corner, we try to get him a 3. That is our top shooter. So 2 runs all the way over, gets a wide open 3. If 2 doesn't have the shot, he looks for the 3-man. He passes it to 4, and 5ers are going to set the screen on the middle guy of the zone. 3 is going to curl underneath. You'd like to throw a pass on the baseline side to 3, and he'll shoot a jump shot over the top of both players. So here we swing 2 through, and we pass it down to 3, and he shoots a jump shot over both. All of our out-of-bounds plays can be run against both zone and man-to-man. The first one is 1. It's your old screen-to-screener, except for we start off by setting a double screen for 2. Before we do the screen-to-screener action, 3 comes up and screens for 5 while he's screening for 2. Try to get to a shot. Sometimes we put the 5-man in 3 spot so that when he rolls back to the basket, we can do a little lob to him if he's one-on-one, and then 1's back for this is a safety. 1 baseline out of bounds. Here we set the screen-to-screener. Here we had our 5-man in the position so we can get him on the one-on-one matchup if they play in front of him. Usually we'll throw a little lob to him, then he'll go hard middle. Here is the setting the hard screen for 2 so we can get him open for a 3. Two is set up for screen-to-screener, but we spread things out. We try to get 5 for a lob right away. 3 sets a hard screen and comes right back to the ball. And then 2 and 1 spreads it out, so if they don't guard him, we'll just throw him the ball right away and then go hard middle. This shows an example of how we spread things out. We set the screen for 5, he's looking for a lob, and then 4 curls back and tries to find an opening. This is against the zone. The bottom guy was worried about our outside guy, so we were able to slip it in there. Here we do the same thing, except for this time we're able to get the lob to the 5, and they help out. When they help out, you want to get it to the shooter on your side. Our best shooter is lined up right next to him, then in case they do help. Same example, but we cut back inside and we're able to get inside with our screener. 4 low is used so that we can flatten out a zone. They have to match up with you. And if they do match up with us, we look for the lob to 5 right away. If not, 5 sets a screen out and 3 will set a screen out. If they match up man-to-man, 2 will come off the screen and cut inside. And 5 will just pop out and be an outlet guy. The backside is what we look for when they match up man-to-man, because we set a screen for 1 who comes all the way across and usually the guy open. If they switch, 3 comes back to the basketball for a layup. This example, they flatten out, so we throw the lob. Now, if they help out, you want to throw it right back to the inbounder, who is wide open right there for a layup. Second example, same thing. You want to throw it right back to the passer. He's supposed to look for a hole. This shows an example of where we're confusing the defense. They're in their 2-3. They're looking at each other, deciding who's going to guard out, who's going to guard where. If they match it up, we look for the lob first, but we look backside second. Our backside guy has got to find the opening. Right here he finds the opening right in the middle and shoots a jump shot. If they start worrying about the jump shooter, you'll fake out and come back in and try to duck in. Be able to get the ball or get into the layup. Forward low G stands for the guards being on the inside. This way we can set a small to big screen and throw a lob up over the top of the guard if they switch. If they don't switch and just help out with both guys, we'll pop the guard out to shoot the jump shot. Here they don't switch, we're able to get the post guy all the way across. This time the guard sets a little screen and pops out for the 3-point shot. He doesn't set a hard one. Both guys help out and he's able to get to the outside for an open look. We will run a lot of different variations off the 4 low look. This time it's called 4 low rub. That just means the 2 post guys just screen for each other. The ball side post screens and tries to get on the inside with the other post coming across. The guards just try to come up high to get their guards out of the way. And notice he just tries to slip on the inside and catch the pass. If he even just clears out the other post that we screen for, if he clears out, if he can't get it, that'll open up more room for the post guy to work in underneath. 4 high, we try to do the same type of thing as far as we try to pull a mismatch on the one guard. If they don't go out and guard him, we'll just pass the ball to him, And if the guy comes and gets him quickly, then we'll pass it over to our best shooter for a wide open 3. If they rush the guy at him, then he'll drive the basket. At the same time, 3 is going to dive to the basket and try to drag the guy out with him, while 5 comes in looking for a lob pass. And 1 will set a screen for 2 if he isn't open immediately. Nobody is guarding our wing, so we're going to go ahead and pass the ball to him right away. We'll always do that before our post guys start cutting. When we pass it to him, we're going to draw the guard back over to you, and he'll pass it to where he was, to our shooter for the wide open 3. Again, if the guard comes over and guards him from the backside, then we'll drive to the right. This is the same thing. This time we have to walk him in to set the screen because we were guarded right away. We have a few sideline out of bounds plays. Here's one for scoring. This is a normal one a lot of people use called box. 2 sets the screen across. Then we'll set a double screen for 2 that has to go right through the middle and look for him for a 3-point shot. I did have a section for both guards and post players separately. Second one's guard box. I put them in with. Here we use this as all decoys and the drives from the different areas. Set the screen across. So now we just have a fake in like he's going to set the screen, but come back and catch the ball. 4 and 2 is going to treat this like the old play because now make everybody cautious about 2 coming up. Never stop trying to get the lob pass. Here we got 2 guys all over us. So he knows he's doing there, but here he's going to just try to push somebody up as high as possible. Which is our point guard. Here he's up high enough that we actually do our 3 or our 4, whoever we don't like taking the ball out for the lob. And then once he sets the back screen, we'll lob the ball to him. So here we're all set up. We set the screen, pass the ball back up top, come on the back screen. This is the same thing. Like I said, we don't like to make the pass from the point, but when it's this open, you have to. But just keep working on the ceiling all the way through. Follow the ball. Hold your seal. Next, we'll talk about post moves. When we catch the ball in the middle, first of all, our high post always dives the basket to flatten his guy out. Also, he can be open for a layup or a rebound then. But we want to go middle because middle gives us the most options. We can pass it, we can shoot it, we can get our own rebound easier. These are more examples of going middle. It opens up a lot more options. Plus, putting it over the top of the rim, you can use the backboard. There's a lot more ways the ball can go in the basket. Going middle also, you can draw somebody's other guy, and we got a dive here, so it opens up the backside. This is a result of going middle. If you keep going middle, you can do the up and under move, which we love to teach. Up and then under. He did a good job of selling the up fake. This is an example of just feeling where your defender is. Here he kind of gets up high to stop him from going middle, and he just feels that he moved up, so he goes and drops baseline. The next are example of drives. Go 1 dribble only, 1-2 layup. Joe is really good at this, doing it on the baseline. Here's an example where we use the high screen to drive to the opening, draw the man. With the new rules at the free throw line, rebounding in the post is a little bit easier offensively if you can step in the middle quickly and beat the defender to the middle. Here we tip the ball to ourselves. We got our foot in quickly before they did. Here's an example of doing the swim move. Our post up doesn't let himself get boxed out. He does a swim move to get himself up over the top to get the rebound. Last example, just a great example, persistence. Our big guy goes from the 3-point line all the way to the opposite side to grab the rebound. Our basic A offense can be used against zone defense also. Here we swing the ball to the weak side, or strong side. We bring up the post from the back side. We look our same looks down low. The high post guy's got to get on the inside. If he can get on the inside of the guard, then we can do our dump down pass. Here we swing the basketball. We're sealing on the back side. If we can get it up over the top of the middle, we throw him a lob. The offense, you force the wings to come out and guard you. Here you got man-on-man with driving on the bottom part of the zone. So you usually have a guard taking the ball to the basket, 20 feet from the basket against one of their forwards. Here's high post. He's looking down low. But our guard slides to the backside, something you can do with 3 guards for 2 guards. Got high, low. Now against a 1-3-1, we do a backdoor cut on the backside. Skip pass to the opposite side guard. We have a tendency we can hold the top guy better.